Nintendo nerds, what is up? Happy Wednesday, everybody. You finally made it to the middle of the week. I know I am just as excited as you guys all are. For this week's video, I thought I would show you step by step how to make that transfer process from one SD card to another SD card if you've got the older 3DS XL model. And if you're like me with the brand new model, it'll be from a micro SD card to another micro SD card. The process and the steps are exactly the same. It is super easy and it should take you just about 5 minutes. Not very long at all. Now before we get started, if you guys haven't purchased your SD cards yet or your micro SD card, please check out my last video, which I'll put a link somewhere on the screen or down below. My last video was where I filmed myself playing the release demo of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I briefly talked about which SD card I was going to use for this video, so I have that linked on that video. It's a 32GB micro SD card, and you guys can check that out. So enough jibber jabbering, let's get started on the transfer process. So what you're going to need if you have a newer 3DS model is you are going to need a micro SD card adapter. Now I know that some places they do a bundle where they do sell the micro SD card along with the micro SD card adapter. However, not every place sells that. There are places like where I purchased mine that they sold it individually. But luckily for me, I had an adapter lying around in my house, so I didn't have to purchase one. But what I'll do is I will check on Google and check on Amazon, and I will put some links down below if I do find any where you can purchase the bundle pack, the SD card along with the SD card adapter. Alright, so what you're going to need to do first is you're going to need to get access to your micro SD card if you are a new 3DS XL owner. So on the back of your 3DS XL, you notice that there are two screws. You're going to need to take a screwdriver and you're going to need to unscrew those two screws until they come loose. And now once they start to come loose, which will take about a few minutes of unscrewing on each side, so it'll take a little bit. This is probably the longest step ever in the process. Once it starts to come loose, you're going to see that you can start popping the two notches on both left and right. Now, a word of advice and a tip, because I made this mistake: do not take the back off or remove the back off with your hands and your fingers. Don't do that. The back is super thin, it's flimsy, it's made out of thin plastic, and if you ply it with your hands off, you might risk a chance of it breaking and complications happening. So the trick to making sure that it comes off cleanly and in one piece is using your stylus. You're going to take your stylus and you're going to just put it on the notches on both sides, and it should pop off real nicely if you have screwed it loose enough. So make sure you unscrew it until you see it getting real loose and the screws start to pop up. Otherwise, do not even try to remove it. It'll probably break. So once you've done that, you're going to pop the back off, and you're going to see that your battery is on the left side, and right towards the middle is where your SD card is located. You're going to then remove that baby, remove your micro SD card. You're going to pop that baby right into your SD card adapter. And now both old and new 3DS users will then just put their SD card and slide it into the SD card slot, which all laptops do have these days, the SD card slot. And once that happens, you're going to see a little SD card picture pop up on the screen, and it should say no name, or unless you have named it, but mine just says no name on it. So that has popped up, and you're going to just then double click on the SD card, and it's going to load up all of your files. So there you go, all of your files are right here. Now you're going to then select and drag. That's all you're going to do. You're going to select all of your files, and you're going to drag them right onto your desktop. So select and drag. That's it. Now once you've dragged all of your files onto your desktop, which I won't be doing because I already have them here. I made the transfer process before already. So all of my folders are already on my desktop, so I won't be doing that. Once that's done, you close the window, and now you're going to then drag your SD card to your trash can if you have a Mac, and you're going to eject it. Eject it because you don't want to just pull it out. You know what they always say, if you pull it out, you might risk losing some files, so ejecting it is just for safety reasons. Alright, once you eject it and it's gone, you then remove your SD card adapter, remove your SD card, and you're going to put in the new micro SD card into the adapter. And then you're going to put it back into the slot. It'll show up again as no name. And then you're going to drag the files just right inside here. Select and drag inside. And all of your files will be inside of your new SD card or new micro SD card. Then you're going to do the same steps. Drag, trash can, eject, pull, and then remove micro SD card or remove SD card. Put it back into your SD card slot or micro SD card slot. And for the new users, you're going to have to pop that right back on. So you're going to pop it on and then you're going to screw it with the screwdriver. And once it starts tightening up, you want to make sure that you start pressing firmly down on all the edges and corners to make sure that it all snaps back into place. And once the screw is all tightened up, you're going to then turn on your DS and you're going to see that your theme and all of your downloaded games and everything should show up real nicely and it shouldn't have any problems. Now, one little quick tip, because I made this mistake my first time, which took me that much longer to actually make the transfer process. On the SD card and even the SD card adapter, you will notice that there's a little notch on the side that goes up and down. That says lock and unlock. Now, when I used it, because the SD card adapter was brand new, has never been used before, it happened to be on lock and I did not notice. And that prevented me from dragging the files into the SD card, which I did not know that. I kept trying to drag it in there. I said, why is it not letting me drag in there? It's giving me a little circle cancel sign. And I was like, that can't be right. And it took me about 5 minutes to realize that it was accidentally unlocked. So unlock it, and once you've unlocked it, you will see that your files will drag right in really easy. So I'm probably the stupid one. Alright, that's all for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it so much, and I hope that the process was just as easy as it was for me, as it was for you. Or just as easy as it was for you as it was for me. Anyways, I just hope it was easy for you guys. Alright, please give this video a big thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or if you are a new viewer, because I put out awesome content every single Wednesday. Woo, woo. And leave down in the comments below what you'd like to see me film next. But as you guys already know, my next video will obviously be about the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. It is coming out officially next Friday, the 18th of November. I have been counting down the days. I am so excited, and I'm sure all of you guys are as well, because if you have the demo, you know that you can transfer your Greninja over to the new game. I mean the full game. Woo, 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 woo. I'm like literally partying, and I'm so excited. So anyways, I will see you guys next week. I love you guys so much. Mwah! Stay cool, Nintendo nerds. Bye!